protecting Main Street from Wall Street. It's Chris Hoffman with Money Unleashed.
How much money do you put into your checking account from work on a month-to-month basis? It has a high probability that with your investable assets, we can replace that paycheck.
It's time to put you back in control of your money.
You've worked for 35 years. It's time for you to not stress. It's time for you to enjoy and live the retirement you want to live.
It's Money Unleashed with Chris Hoffman.
Welcome into the Money Unleashed podcast with Chris Hoffman. Give us a call, schedule that time for your portfolio x-ray. Remember, there's no cost whatsoever to do so. 404-341-6767 is the phone number. 404-341-6767, or sign up at unleashyourmoney.com. Now, when it comes to financial planning, finding the right answers really starts with asking the right questions. It's not just about how much should I save or what should I invest in. It's about digging deeper. The right questions open the door to smarter, more personalized strategies, because the better the question, the more useful the answer, and that's where that real financial clarity begins. Chris, I thought we could hit a few questions that should help folks out there get a clear view of where they are, where they'd like to go, and how they can accomplish it. And I want to kick it off with these, and it's as simple as it gets, but it's essential. What are my financial goals, and when do I need to reach them?
Yep, great question. And by the way, these are not questions that the investor or the potential retiree should be forced to come up with and ask. This is exactly why you reach out to a financial advisory team.
Right.
They do it every day. They should know what questions to ask. And I'm not just talking about the intake form that says, risk profile and all this just very
check this box.
Yeah, this very sanitary environment. A financial advisor needs to dig into these questions, and they need to ask ones that you have possibly never heard before. And it needs to cover the whole spectrum. So what are my financial goals? Well, I would look at that with, okay, what are your financial goals in the first 10 years of retirement, the next 10 years of retirement, and the third 10 years of retirement? And then what are your financial goals for your legacy? When you pass away, how do you want to leave this money to your spouse if you're married? In what tax forms? We don't want any taxes for a spouse. There shouldn't be any taxes for a spouse. We should be good to go on that. And then when the second spouse passes, where does their money go? Does it go to charities? Does it go to church? Does it go to kids or grandkids? How do you gift it? How much can you gift? All of your financial life needs to be discussed from what are my financial goals. Let's do this to start. Bring us all your financial information, or we'll ask you what questions and what we need. And then let us see if we can replace your paycheck. Because if you're working and you're making $200,000 a year in your job and you're taking home X amount each month and it's being put into your checking account or savings account, if we can replace that number with a guaranteed payment like a Social Security, plus highly reliable income streams, dividends, fixed income, et cetera, that allows you to have financial goals for your original net worth, that $1 million 401k. You can have financial goals for that.
Sure.
You've taken care of your monthly payments now. Your financial world is paying you as if you're going to work. Check that box. Now, what do you want to do with $1 million? When it grows to 1.2, do you want to spend that $200,000 and do something really fun and just keep that number level at that original $1 million over the next 30 years? Or do you want it to grow to put away money for self-insuring for long-term care and home care and the unexpected? So we need to take that into account. And then how much do you realistically want to leave to your heirs? That's the way I would look at starting the conversation about what are my financial goals.
Now, here's the next one on that, which goes hand in hand with this. In fact, all of these are kind of interlocking pieces, which you know all too well. And maybe this is on that questionnaire that you mentioned when you come in, that intake form, if you will, for the impersonal approach for it. But it's a conversation to have. And the question, to make a long story short, is how much risk can I tolerate?
You can tolerate a lot if you've got it in a plan.
Yeah.
Risk isn't something you should fear. It's something that we should take advantage of. When the markets go down, you can make money on that. When the markets go up, you should make money on that and you should beat your benchmarks. So basically, there's going to be risk in any portfolio, right? Unless it's sitting in treasuries only, which is a very undiversified plan. But there's going to be risk in every portfolio. That is okay. If you can live with that measure of risk to the downside, but add one more thing to that conversation, which is how do I take advantage of it, Mr. or Mrs. Financial Advisor? If the market loses 20% and my stocks are down 15, what are we going to do to dollar cost average? How are we going to pick up momentum by buying in at a low point? That's a risk conversation that gets pretty exciting for our clients. So you can tolerate a heck of a lot of risk in your portfolio if you know that risk is being put to work for you, would be my message.
So let's roll all of that together with this little question, which is actually, I guess, a series of items in one question. It's, do I have the appropriate asset allocation for my goals? Do I understand my time horizon, which we've covered some of, and risk tolerance? How do all of those pieces just kind of fit together?
Yep. So 3 components, 3 pieces, 3 phases that we would walk through any caller, anybody who goes to unleashyourmoney.com and wants to inquire. The first thing is we run a portfolio x-ray to get a picture of your financial life, the good, the bad, the ugly. Then we dive into preparing an income plan with tax strategies to replace your paycheck in retirement. Then we fold it all into a comprehensive full financial plan to map it out year over year over year for the next 30 to 40 years. Those 3 things walk us down a very structured path. Very easy for the caller or the investor to get that from us because we're doing all the work.
Yeah.
And we'll present it to you in 3 separate reports to basically give you your first look at, hey, I can do this. This plan fits for me, or we can go back and tweak that full financial plan as need be. Risk then kind of dissipates and becomes less something we worry about because we know what risk we're taking on. We know how we're going to leverage risk to our advantage, and we've got it in our full financial plan.
Yeah, the roadmap, if you will, to having that successful retirement. Now, a few more questions since I think we're on a roll right here. Items that we stress each week that folks should be thinking about is, how can I transition from that growth phase to the distribution phase during retirement? Because you need to have a plan for how exactly that happens and where exactly that comes from.
Yeah, so interesting. I wouldn't use that language at all because I don't want to transition my clients out of growth into just income generation. You should have growth assets, right? I mean, we're going to have to outpace inflation by a ton. We're going to want to outpace inflation by a ton. We're going to want to spend on big ticket items. So we need a growth bucket. And that growth bucket needs to beat all the appropriate benchmarks. Don't let your financial advisor off the hook with that, folks. Don't let them say, well, you're 65, you're 70, you're 75. I have you in an ultra conservative portfolio. That's letting them off the hook with managing risk and managing how to leverage risk. Don't let them do that. Yes, you need to generate an income plan, which in effect is a distribution strategy, but that should come from good, solid investments that give you the ability to not be over-leveraged into the stock market, generate enough income to live off and never have to sell stock. And if the stock market falls, we should have other asset classes that we can reinvest back into a depressed stock market. So I don't ever want to transition my clients from growth into income. That's just basically throwing your hands in the air and saying, all right, Wall Street wins. I'm not going to grow my money anymore. I want our clients growing their money, generating income, avoiding taxes, and creating the retirement of their dreams and passing on whatever assets they want to their beneficiaries when they pass.
Very good insight right there. The last thing to ask, am I investing in a tax-efficient manner? Because taxes, Chris, we know the effect those can have on everything that you've done, worked on, and saved.
Yeah, so that's another measure, I think, of how engaged your financial advisor is in your full financial life. Are they really diving into the tax side? Because ask yourself this question, folks. How much does my financial advisor make when I save on taxes? The answer is Zero. Now, they may keep a little bit more money in your account, which they can get paid on later. So that's not necessarily an absolute truth. But your financial advisor is going to lean into managing your portfolio to grow your money because that's the way they make more money. If you pay 50% tax on that money, they don't really care. They're still patting themselves on the back saying, oh, your portfolio is up 20%. Oh, your portfolio is up 30%. But if you could cut your tax bracket from 30, 35% down to 10 or 15, now your financial advisor's working both angles. They're making you money and they're saving you money. So tax efficient investing and organizing your various investment accounts in a tax efficient manner is critical.
The bottom line is this. There are a lot of questions that you want to have the correct answers to, questions you need to ask yourself, and of course, questions you need to have answered by the financial advisory team that you're working with. And you want a fiduciary team that's working for you and in your best interest, building a financial plan that's designed to help you accomplish all of the things that make up what a successful retirement looks like for you, your own custom plan, not someone else's. That's what Hoffman Financial Group specializes in, right, Chris?
That's absolutely right. I also want to emphasize that this is not an overwhelming amount of time or effort that a caller would need to spend. We have streamlined this down, and we do it every day for multiple callers each week from the show. So do not think for a minute that you're going to have to invest a lot of your time or your effort into this. We want to make it streamlined for you, make it as easy as possible. So what's the starting point? And the starting point, by the way, folks, can be the ending point. This can be, all right, I've been thinking about this for a while. Let me reach out and at least get this thing started and see if I get some eye-opening moments. All right, so let's just talk about the first step and possibly that being the only step. And I think it'll be extremely beneficial for anybody who takes advantage of it. Where do we start? Well, if you call us at 404-341-6767, or you can go online to unleashyourmoney.com, you'll see a button there that says Portfolio X-ray or 401k X-ray. That gives us the ability to present back to you a very consolidated report on all the key metrics in your financial life. We will call you Monday or Tuesday of this week. We'll ask you a few questions. We'll let you know what to expect in that first meeting, and then we get busy, heads down on preparing that report. We'll take the hours it takes to generate it all, get us all the information. Then when you come in, you're actually going to get that. So you don't leave just wondering, and it's a bunch of verbal talk. It's, here, let me show you the power of Hoffman Financial Group and the power of how we review people's financial well-being and their financial lives. We'll show it to you, we'll walk you through it, and we'll give you a copy of it to take with you, completely free of charge. So call us at 404-341-6767 or go to unleashyourmoney.com and click on the Portfolio X-ray button.
As I like to say, it's a great way to go from wondering to knowing. It starts with that Portfolio X-ray. It is complimentary. There's no cost whatsoever. Hoffman Financial Group will get to work for you. 404-341-6767 is that number, 404-341-6767, and online at unleashyourmoney.com. Chris Hoffman is an investment advisor representative of Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor and affiliate of Brookstone Capital Management, LLC. BWA and Hoffman Financial Group are affiliated under common ownership. Registered investment advisors and investment advisor representatives act as fiduciaries for all of our investment management clients. We have an obligation to act in the best interest of our clients and to make full disclosures of any conflicts of interest. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV 2A, page 4, for additional information. The Hoffman Financial Group and WSB are not affiliated. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. This information should not be considered tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a professional specializing in the field of tax, legal, accounting, or investments regarding the applicability of this information for their situation. Any client experiences discussed during the show are unique to that client. They are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments will fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Any comments regarding safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Fixed insurance and annuity product guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of of the issuing company and are not offered by Brookstone. Index or fixed annuities are not designed for short-term investments and may be subject to caps, restrictions, fees, and surrender charges as described in the annuity contract. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV2A Item 4, for additional information. Hoffman Financial Group is not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Insurance licensed in Georgia, number 163546.